Welcome. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Welcome back to my free live English lesson today. My name is Shelly. If you don't know who I am, happy to be here with you today. Today, we're going to be doing an intermediate English lesson today. We're going to focus on how we can use the phrase even though. Even though it's a great phrase to know. So that's what we're going to do today. And as always, I will be putting the lesson that we will do on the screen. I'm going to put it on there shortly. If anybody has any questions or comments, or if you want a copy of this lesson that I put on the screen, just let me know and I will send it out to you. I'll send you the PDF. So let's put that lesson onto the screen right now. First, let me open it up though. There we go. Share my screen. And today's lesson is even though. All right, so that's what we're going to study today. We're going to be studying even though. It's a great lesson to know. It's a great word. We use even though to talk about a contrasting idea. So when two ideas are not matching, we will use the phrase even though. All right, so it's a great way to make you sound a lot more fluent. If we look at the screen right here, I'm going to try to make this as big as I can, even though this is showing a contrast between two ideas or a surprising fact. Okay, so it's a contrast of two ideas or a surprising fact. Now, other things that we should be wary of, we should know. So I'm going to go to this point on this lesson document right here. I'll read it for you. It says, even though can come at the beginning of the sentence, or it can come sort of at the end, but I would say in the middle of the sentence, at the very beginning or in the middle. It's your choice. There's no difference in the meaning. If you want to put it at the beginning, that's fine. If you want to put it in the middle, that's also fine. All right, so even though can come at the beginning or in the middle. So now we're talking about two ideas that are contrasting. They don't kind of fit each other, right? So let's look at the very first example here. Let's look at an example sentence. I'll make this a little bit bigger here. So I've got two phrases here. The first phrase is saying, I failed my test. I failed my test. The second one is saying, I studied. I studied. So I failed my test and I studied. Now, these two phrases, these two ideas, these two actions, they don't really match each other, because usually if you study for a test, you can pass, right? If you don't study, then maybe you will fail. But usually, most situations, we study, we can pass. But in this situation, in this sentence, I studied, but I failed, right? So they don't match. So when you have two ideas that are contrasting each other, so it's kind of like a plus minus, minus plus. So we can join these sentences using even though. So I failed my test even though I studied, right? So that's a little strange. You would think that I would have passed the test because I studied, but I didn't pass. All right, so we can join using those two contrasting ideas using even though. So now let's look at a different sentence here. I got to make it a little bit smaller so it fits into the screen. Okay, there you go. It fits perfectly. So in this sentence, it says, even though it was raining, they continued playing basketball. Even though it was raining, they continued playing basketball. Let's imagine this is outside. This is an outdoor court. They're in the park, they're playing basketball. But it's raining. Usually if it's raining, we don't play. We stop playing. We go home. First, maybe it's dangerous. Second, a lot of people don't want to play basketball in the rain. You will slip all over the court. But in this situation, they didn't stop. They continued. So those two ideas contrast. They don't match each other. Rain and we continue playing. All right. So that's how we use even though. That's how we use even though. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to be making sentences like this. So in this next situation, in this next exercise, next area, I am going to give you some information, some cues, okay? For example, let's look at this example one, okay? Let's just look at basketball. Okay, this is an example of what we'll do. So we've got basketball and we've got rain. So I'll give you two words. Using those two words or three words, you have to make a sentence using even though. So as we looked at the top sentence, I'll write it again. Even though it was raining, we played basketball outside. All right. So I'm using the information, basketball and rain, and then I make a sentence using even though. Now I can put this even though at the beginning or in the middle. So we played basketball outside even though it was raining. All right, does that make sense? That's what we're going to do today. And I've got a lot of these cues today. I'm calling these are kind of like your hint. I've called them cues, okay? I've got a lot of these cues, a lot of exercises for you to practice. In fact, I believe like it's almost 30 I have. We won't do all 30 today, but we'll do enough where you feel comfortable by the time we're done. All right. So if you have any questions about today's grammar, just let me know in the comment section. If you're watching this on the replay, you can also let me know in the comment section. Also, if you're watching this on the replay or if you are watching it live, if you're new to this channel, I do a lot of live lessons. I try to do 2 or 3 every week. They're completely free. I also create a lot of content as well. I try to update as much as I can, upload as much as I can. So I'm here to try to help you improve your English. So if you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe. Everybody watching right now, if you're watching now live or during the replay, hit the like button, please. Hitting the like button really helps my channel. Subscribing helps it immensely. So please do that. It would mean a lot. All right, so let's look at the very first cue. I've got family picnic and I've got rain. I've got family picnic and I've got rain. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm not going to be giving you the verbs. At least I'm going to try not to give you the verbs. It's your job to choose the correct verb for all of these. Okay. So family picnic and rain, if you've got a good sentence for this, please leave it in the comment section. Give me your answer. I'm just looking at this other computer, making sure everything fits on the screen, and it does. All right, so we've got family picnic, we've got rain. All right, now generally, if there is a picnic, right, we want nice sunny weather, blue skies. Here we've got rain. For me, rain usually means it's a canceled picnic. But this is going to be the kind of the opposite. We're trying to do things that don't kind of match each other, right? So for me, my sentence here will be a little bit more unique. So I'm I'm gonna use even though at the very beginning of the sentence. All right, so even though it was raining, okay, okay, how would we end this? Okay, even though it was raining, and I'm gonna try to make this a little bit more advanced, a little bit more, not such easy phrases. I'm gonna try to give you phrases that might be a little bit more intermediate, advanced level, but very commonly used. This way you can use them when you speak. So even though it was raining, we went ahead with the picnic at the park. All right, so here I'm using the phrase went ahead. Went ahead. We went ahead with the picnic. That means we proceeded with the picnic. We continued with it. We didn't cancel it. All right, it comes from the phrase go ahead. Obviously, this is the past tense. Go ahead means, yeah, please continue. You can do what you were meant to be doing. So even though it was raining, we went ahead with the picnic at the park. Okay, that means we continued with it. We didn't cancel it. All right, so went ahead. Make sure you memorize that phrase. It's a very, very useful phrase. Okay, so let's look at number 2. Number 2, we've got tired. I'm going to keep the original sentence on the screen. All right, so you got the previous sentence on the screen. Now you can see the new sentence, tired and gym. Tired and gym. What would your answers for this be? Tired and gym. If you have an answer, just leave it in the comment section. Otherwise, I'll give everybody a couple of minutes, and then I'll give you my answer as well. All right, so tired and gym. Now I'm going to try to include phrases and vocabulary that maybe are a little bit more difficult. Okay, so I hit the gym after work, even though I was utterly exhausted. I hit the gym after work, even though I was exhausted. All right, what does that mean? What does utterly mean? Does anybody know what utterly means? And just from the example of this sentence, what do you think it would mean? Okay, so here I'll make a banner for it. Utterly is going to mean completely, absolutely. And it basically just means very in this situation. Very. So utterly means completely or absolutely. So completely exhausted. Exhausted means, of course, very, very tired. Very, very tired. Okay, so that is my answer for that one. Let's keep moving and let's look at number 3. Now I've got 3 words for this one. Let's try to make it a little smaller so we can fit the number in there as well. Okay, so we got student, not understand, and we've got homework. All right, we've got student, not understand, and we've got homework. What would your answers for this be? All right, this can be so many different answers. I'm giving you guys examples of what I would write. If you guys have a different answer, please do so. I've got student, not understand, homework. Here you have to choose if the student is a male or a female, or choose the pronoun that you want for that. It could be he, she, they, we. And so for me, let's just say I'm going to use the pronoun he here. So even though he didn't fully understand the homework, he was able to finish it. All right. Even though he fully didn't understand the homework, he was able to finish it. Okay, does that make sense? Even though he fully didn't understand the homework, he was able to finish it. Okay, so let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. I got number 4 here. Stuck in traffic, airport, and flight. Stuck in traffic, airport, and flight. Stuck in traffic, airport, and flight. What would we see? What sentence would you make here? We have to join these ideas. You don't have to use these words. Okay, just use these ideas and make a sentence. Stuck in traffic, airport, and flight. All right, so what I'm going to say here, I'm going to make a sentence. She was luckily able to catch her flight, even though her cab was stuck in traffic. All right. She was luckily able to catch her flight, even though her cab was stuck in traffic. All right. So here, stuck in traffic means you can't move. The traffic is not moving. You're not able to get to your destination. She needs to go to the airport. She needs to catch a flight. But luckily, she was able to, even though there was a lot of traffic, she was able to catch her flight. Okay. Even though there was a lot of traffic, she was able to catch her flight. All right, so let's keep going. Let's look at number 5. What will we say? Losing the game at halftime and win. Losing the game at halftime and win. All right, so using even though, how would you make this sentence here? And again, these are just the ideas. These are just cues for you. So losing the game at halftime and then win. All right, so for me, my answer for this would be, even though we were losing the game at halftime, we came back and won. Okay, so does that make sense? Even though we were losing the game at halftime, we came back and won. All right, so using even though, we joined those ideas to make a sentence. Let's move. If you have any questions about this, I'm going to start moving a little bit faster. If you have any questions about any of these sentences that I make, if you've got a different sentence, just let me know. All right, so we got next, number 6, forgot umbrella. Okay, so I did give you a verb here. And then walk home, I also gave you a verb, 2 verbs. So I made this one a little bit easier. You do have to figure out how we can join these 2 words, right? I want you to join them using even though, okay? So even though is the main grammar that we're using today. Join those 2 ideas using even though. You don't have to use those words, but these are the ideas. So you got umbrella, you got home. Right. So make sure that when we do join it, there is going to be some type of contrast, right? There has to be a contrasting idea here. So for me, the contrasting idea would be, even though I forgot my umbrella, I walked home in the rain. Even though I forgot my umbrella, I walked home in the rain. Nancy, even though I forgot my umbrella at home, I still had to walk home. That is a perfect sentence, Nancy. Perfect. Excellent. All right. Excellent. Let's look at number 7 now. We've got not hungry and dinner. Not hungry and dinner. And these are just ideas, okay? Try to use your own words, try to use some new ideas from these cues. All right? For example, I'm going to give you my answer here. I'm not really going to use all of the words here. I'm going to use hungry. Okay, even though I wasn't really hungry, even though I wasn't, not thought, let me get rid of that spelling there. Even though I wasn't really hungry, I still had second helpings. All right, even though I wasn't hungry, I still had second helpings. So second helpings means I had the first plate of food, and then I got a second serving, a second helping. Nancy, even though I was not hungry, I still ate pizza for dinner. Perfect. Yeah, you can never say no to pizza, I think. All right, let's look at number 8. Sick and work. Sick and work. How do we join these 2 ideas? Using even though. Again, you can change the concept. These are just these words are meant to give you inspiration. All right, so I'm using kind of the opposite here. I called in sick to work, even though I felt fine. I called in sick to work, even though I felt fine. So this is the opposite. I'm not going with I'm sick and I went to work. So Nancy, your sentence, even though I felt sick, I still had to go to work and finish some reports. Perfect. Perfect sentence. So here, you are a good worker, you're dedicated, you're feeling sick, but you still go to the office. For me, it's the opposite. I'm not sick, but I call in sick. Maybe I want to go do something. Maybe I, want to go to the beach. I want to watch a movie. Maybe I just want to relax at home. So I call in sick. All right. So that whenever whenever you need to be absent from work because you're sick, you have to call in. Call in means, we're calling the company and telling them that, listen, I'm sick, so I can't come to work. So call in sick. This one also has a nuance that a lot of times we call in sick. It means I'm not really sick. I'm not really sick. Okay, let's look at number 9. Bad reviews and movie. Bad reviews and movie. All right, so we got reviews. Reviews are, what people say, write, or, post after they watch something, after they go somewhere. If you go to a restaurant and then after the restaurant, you go to Google, you go to, TripAdvisor, you go to Yelp, and you give a comment, you're reviewing the restaurant. So here, that someone is reviewing the movie. So maybe I went to the movie even though it had really bad reviews. I went to the movie even though it had really bad reviews. Let's see, Nancy. Even though Beetlejuice had bad reviews, I had to go see it for myself. That is a great sentence, Nancy. Sentence. That's perfect. Is that true? Did you go watch Beetlejuice? Did you go watch it? I do want to watch it as well. I'm not a big Beetlejuice fan, but it is a classic movie, so I do want to go watch it. All right. For 10. 10 is not difficult. We've got expensive and new phone. Expensive and new phone. All right. So expensive and new phone. Yeah, it was okay. Okay, nice. Yeah, I do want to watch it. It looks fun. I don't take movies like that too seriously, so yeah. Thank you, Nancy. So expensive, and even though the new iPhone is crazy expensive, I still want to get it. All right, even though the new iPhone is crazy expensive, I still want to get it. All right, even though the phone bill is expensive, I had to get a new phone. Okay, phone bill is a little different. Phone bill is you pay to the carrier, like you're paying to Sprint or you're paying to AT&T. So you don't need to say bill. Even though the phone is expensive, I had to get it. Okay, let's look at number 11. Cold and swimming. Cold and swimming. Okay, again, these are just here to help you. Even though it is January, I plan to go swimming. Even though it is January, I plan to go swimming. Okay, excellent. So again, anybody have questions, just let me know. That was number 11. Let's look at number 12. Okay, number 12 says busy, friend, move. And I've got in brackets house. So when I talk about move, it's not like moving as in motion. We're talking about maybe your friend has to move. You know, maybe they're going to live in a new apartment, live in a new house. So what would you say here? Busy, friend, move. All right, so for me, all right, even though I was swamped with work, I helped my friend move. Even though I was swamped with work, I helped my friend move. What does that mean? Swamped with work means that you have a lot of work. You're super busy. You have so many things to do. Okay, so even though I was swamped with work, I'm very, very busy with work. Yeah, I helped my friend move. Okay, let's keep going. Number 13. We've got here traffic jam this time. Traffic jam I've written. Not traffic, but traffic jam. And then arrive early. All right, what would you say for this? What sentence would you make? Traffic jam, arrive early. All right, so I could say here, even though there was a traffic jam, I arrived to the meeting early. I can say that. Another option I could say is, even though I was stuck in a traffic jam, I arrived to the meeting early. Okay, same meaning, just two different ways to say it. I was stuck in a traffic jam, or there was a traffic jam. Now, if you wanted to say not jam, okay, in that situation, you know, traffic jam is a noun, so there was a traffic jam, stuck in a traffic jam. But if you just use the word traffic, okay, you're only going to use the word traffic, even though there was traffic, I arrived early to the meeting. Okay, so if we're just using traffic, traffic is an adjective. So I don't need to put a, and I don't need to put jam. But today, let's learn how to use both. So even though there was a traffic jam, I arrived to the meeting early. Okay, so Nancy, Even though there was, don't forget, a traffic jam in the morning, I still managed to arrive early to work. Perfect. The rest is perfect. Just use the a for your traffic jam. Okay, next we've got broken leg and we've got party. Broken leg and we've got party. How do we join these two words, these ideas, to make a sentence using even though? All right, so even though she had a broken leg, she attended the party. Now, attended is just a very fancy, informal way to say, one second. Went to. You choose attended the party or went to the party. They're both fine. Okay, so even though she had a broken leg, she attended the party. Even though she had a broken leg, she went to the party. So in that situation, you can choose whichever verb you like there. They both have the same meaning. For me, honestly, I'm probably going to be choosing this one. That's just me. I prefer went to. I think attended for me is a little too formal, but it's also okay. It's your choice. There's no wrong answer for this. Hey, Fireboys, how are you? All right, so we're looking at even though, Fireboys. I've been good. I've been really, I don't know, really hot, honestly, Fireboys. It's been extremely hot here in Tokyo. Summer has suddenly just come back, and it's come back with a vengeance. So it's been really tiring. Like the heat has been draining. I think everybody here in Tokyo, like the heat is just draining us all. Yeah, I was coaching basketball today, so I was speaking quite loud. So let's look at this one. This is probably going to be my favorite one. Heights and roller coaster. Heights and roller coaster. All right, Nancy. Thank you very much. Have a great day back at work. I'll see you on hopefully Saturday. Have a great day, Nancy. All right, so we've got heights, we've got roller coaster, two ideas, two pieces of information. We have to join those ideas using even though. Good evening, Fusa. How are you today? So now remember, even though is always showing contrast between two ideas, or it's showing a surprising fact. Kaz, evening, how are you today? So for me, with the heights and roller coaster, what I would say here, my sentence would probably be, I always ride on a roller coaster when I go to amusement parks. even though I'm deathly afraid of heights. Okay, it's a little bit longer sentence here. I try to make it a little bit more complicated. I always ride on a roller coaster when I go to amusement parks, even though I'm deathly afraid of heights. Even though I am scared of heights. I am scared of heights, not scare up at it. Even though I am scared of heights, I've tried roller coaster many times. No force. So even though I am scared of heights, okay, and that's a great phrase to remember, everyone. I am scared of something. Okay, I am scared of something. Okay, and again, we could say, like I said, I'm afraid of. Same meaning. I'm afraid of. I added deathly afraid. It just means like very, very, very afraid, very, very scared. Now, there's another way to say this. You know, whenever you have that type of fear, you can say, I have a fear of heights. I have a fear of heights. These are all called, you know, having a fear of something, afraid of something, things like heights, maybe things like spiders. These are called phobias. If you're ever wondering what all these are called, they're called phobias. Okay, so a phobia. Phobia just means a fear. So fear of heights, fear of spiders. There can be many, 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 many fears. Nice, Friday Boys. You wrote it as well. Phobia. Perfect. Okay, let's look at number 16. Raining and at run. Raining and at run. If you notice run here is a noun. It's a noun. All right, so raining and a run. Remember, we always want to have plus, minus when we're using even though. Right, so even though is always going to be showing some type of contrast. So it's either going to be a, let's say, a plus statement and then a minus statement. And of course, it could be the opposite. You know, it could be a minus statement or a plus statement. So it all depends. You just want the ideas to contrast. All right, so if it's plus, then it's minus. If it's minus, then it's plus. So raining and run, raining and a run. All right, so for example, maybe my sentence will be, even though it's supposed to rain, I think I'll go for a run. Here I'm going to use a future sentence. I didn't use past, I used future here. So again, we're contrasting the idea. Even though it's supposed to rain, I think I'll go for a run. Okay, we got answers here. Let me see. I go for a run, although it's been raining heavily. Perfect. It's been raining buckets. Perfect. It's been pouring. It's been coming down. Lots of different ways to say it's raining. I do hear a lot of people say, it's been raining cats and dogs. That's fine. It's really old. Like I've never said that. It's a little bit old English, but yeah, if you say it, it's fine. It's still English. We'll understand it. All right. What about number 17? Full and dessert. Full and dessert. Yeah, fighting birds, cats and dogs. Nice. If you notice, a lot of my answers, I've been starting the sentences using even though at the beginning, which is completely fine. You have no problem to do that. You don't have to. It's up to you. You can put it in the middle. That's completely fine. It's your preference. All right, so that's my sentence here. Okay, I'm giving you ways to say things. Even though I was stuffed, stuffed means very full. Even though I was stuffed, still had a room for dessert. All right, that means there's still space in my stomach for dessert. It's still possible to eat that dessert. So, fighting boards, although I'm full today, I'm dying this slice of waffle. A slice, I wouldn't use waffle. I would just say I'm dying for this waffle. Slice would be more like I'm dying for this slice of pie, this slice of cake. Anything where you're cutting into that rectangular shape. And usually it's your cake. And then if it's not dessert, it's a slice of pizza. And on that note, pizza as well. You go to this US, if you're in the US, especially in New York, a lot of times a slice of pizza, we will call it a slice of pie. We will call a pizza a pie. So it's very, it's very confusing if you're talking about that. But yeah, pizza can also be called a pie. So a slice of pie could mean a slice of pizza. I've been dying for a really good pie recently, like a good New York style pie. And if has anybody ever had a really good New York style pizza? Have you ever been to New York? Have you ever gone to some of the famous places? If you haven't, and if you're planning to go to New York, definitely go to Lucali's. Lucali's was my favorite. Slice. It's my favorite pie. So good. All right, let's look at number 18. Size. Buy shoes. Size and buy shoes. How would we join those ideas, those words? Again, you don't have to use these words. You use whatever words you want, but this is the idea. This is the theme of your sentence. Size and buy shoes. Okay, so for me, using this idea, size, buy shoes, I bought the shoes, even though they were a size too big. I bought the shoes, even though they were a size too big. All right, so that means these let's say that I'm a size 10, but the shoes are 11, too big. I still bought them. Maybe it was the last pair of these shoes, and I really wanted these shoes. I don't care that they're too big. I need these shoes, so I bought them. Maybe you're a shoe collector. Maybe you'll wear like 5 pairs of socks. All right, so here we're contrasting the idea size and shoes. It could be the opposite. Even though the shoes were too small, I bought them anyway. Okay, so that's what Funny Boys, you did that one. So even though this shoe size pokes my baby toe, or my little toe, not finger, but toe, I still bought them, not that, but them. So even though this shoe or these shoes, probably going to be plural, even though these shoes poke my little toe, my baby toe, I still bought them. All right, yeah. Even though my toes hit the end of the shoe, I still bought them. I've done that. I've bought shoes that were too small. I've bought shoes that were too big as well. Okay, number 19, we have allergy and cake. Allergy and cake. How are we going to join these two concepts using even though? How do we join these two concepts using even though? All right, so I'll give you my sentence. Anybody who wants to give me their sentence, just type it in. I'm moving quickly as well, but if you have a sentence and answer for a previous question, just leave it in the comment section. I'll go back. I'll check everyone's answer, so don't hesitate to leave your answer, even if I'm gone past the question. All right, so leave it in there. Allergy and cake. My sentence will be, I can never turn down a slice of cake, even though I am allergic to eggs. All right, so I can never turn down a slice of cake, even though I'm allergic to eggs. Okay, so you turn down. If you turn down something, that means you reject it. You're saying no. All right, so turn down equals reject. Okay, it equals saying no. All right, so I can never turn down. That means I can never say no to a slice of cake. So if somebody's offering me cake, I will always say yes, even though I'm allergic to eggs. All right, Funny Boards. Even though I have an allergy to caramel cake, even though I have an allergy to caramel cake, I've savored every single bite. Perfect. Yeah, just get rid of the caramel cakes, that sounds great. And the other way to say that is even though I am allergic to. Okay, so whenever you're talking about allergies, there's usually 2 ways to say that. You can say I'm allergic to, and then you're going to be saying the thing that you're allergic to. Okay, so I'm allergic to, and then whatever it is that you're allergic to. Okay, the other way you can say it is how Funny did it. I have a something allergy. Okay, so for example, I can say I have a nut allergy. Okay, I have a nut allergy. So that's the other way you could say it. I'm allergic to something. I'm allergic to nuts. I'm allergic to nuts. I have a nut allergy. Now, if you notice, I want to write that sentence again. So I'm allergic to nuts. So if you look at this sentence, I'm allergic to nuts. Nuts has an S. It's plural. Okay, but in the second one, I have a allergy. There's no S here. Okay. Now, in the second sentence, nut becomes an adjective. It's describing the allergy. So whenever a word is an adjective, we don't put S on it. Okay. Over here, it's not an adjective. It's the noun, so I'm going to put S. Caramel cake with cream cheese. Wow, that just sounds amazing. That sounds to die for. Okay. Just in case you're wondering what I just said there, to die for. To die for means, basically, I would die for the opportunity to eat that. So that just means something is amazing. Okay, number 20. Let's go to number 20. Busy family every day. Busy family every day. How do we join busy family and every day using even though? All right, busy family every day. Join those ideas, that concept, that theme using even though. All right, so what are your guys' answer for that? For my sentence, and this is actually kind of true. It's not always possible, but it is. Let's make the sentence here. Okay, so even though I am really busy, I try to call my mom every day. Even though I'm busy, I try to call my mom every day. All right, Fighting Boys, even family has been busy for a while. Has, not have. Even my family has been busy for a while. I have a plan to see them every day. Good. I know that's a typo, that second part. Yeah, you even corrected it. See them. Perfect. Even though my family has been busy, that's the only part. I try to call. I have a plan to see them every day. Perfect. All right. What about number 21? No experience and job. No experience and job. What can we say for this? For me, my sentence here, even though I didn't have much experience, I applied for the job. Even though I didn't have much experience, I applied for the job. Because you never know. Even though I didn't have much experience, this means job experience, I applied for the job. Now, there could be many sentences here. There could be many, many sentences here. I got the job. I somehow got the job, even though I don't have any experience. I apologize for the noise. Sorry, that's my coffee machine cleaning itself. Okay, Fighters, what do you have here? Even though my job is quite mundane and simple, nobody can handle it with no experience. Perfect. 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 Great job. Excellent. That's no corrections needed there. Perfect. All right, number 22, we've got sick. We've got basketball game. Sick and basketball. All right, I'm going to give you a sentence. This is for any basketball fans out there who like basketball. If you're a Jordan fan, even though MJ had the flu, he was still able to lead his team to victory. Even though MJ had the flu, he was still able to lead his team to victory. All right, MJ, Michael Jordan. This is true. It's called flu game. He had the flu, high fever, still played amazing, got so many points, won the game. All right, let's do a few more. Let's look at number 23 here. Expensive vacation and worthwhile. Expensive vacation, worthwhile. All right, what can we say here? How can I join these ideas using even though? Again, we're contrasting the ideas. Even though we'll always contrast ideas, it will introduce a surprising fact or something that's contrasting. All right, so we've got Fighting Bears. Even though the center of Miami Heat, I would say, even though the Miami Heat center is sick and strong, he was rejected by the crowd because of his performance. Yeah, sure. He was rejected by the crowd. He was booed by the crowd. Maybe he was booed by the crowd. So even though Miami Heat center is sick, great, not sick meaning as in sick. This is slang. Even though he's sick and strong, he was booed by the crowd because of his performance. Rejected by the crowd is fine. That's fine. In sports, though, we'd probably say booed. All right, what about number 23? Expensive vacation, worthwhile. Expensive vacation and worthwhile. So maybe even though my last vacation cost an arm and a leg, it was definitely worthwhile. All right, so even though my last vacation cost an arm and a leg, it was definitely worthwhile. So if something costs an arm and a leg. It costs an arm and a leg. It means it costs a lot. It costs a lot. It means it's very expensive. Let's keep going. I'm feeling energetic today, so we can a couple more. All right. So again, anybody who wants to leave their answer or previous answer on the screen, please do so. I will check it. In the meantime, we'll look at number 24. Number 24 says rain and wedding outdoors. All right. So even though I paid through the nose on this vacation, it's worthwhile. Period. I gained a lot of experience, or it's worthwhile because I gained a lot of experience. I love that first part. I'm going to actually make a bet of that. Pay through the nose. That's a great expression, Fighting Boys. Paid through the nose, it means expensive. Really, really good phrase. All right, so you got semicolon. There you go. That works as well, too. Even though I paid through the nose on this vacation, it's worthwhile. I gained a lot of experience. Now, I would say it was worthwhile. Not it is, but it was. But great, great sentence. Paid through the nose. You paid a lot of money. All right, what about rain, wedding? What do we say there? For me, even though it rained, the wedding was held outdoors. Even though it rained, the wedding was held outdoors. You hold a wedding. You hold, events. Even though it rained, the wedding was held outdoors. All right, let's look. Let's do one more together, and then we'll do one for homework. Anybody wants to for homework here, you guys can do that. So one more together. Number 25, nervous, presentation, confident. Nervous, presentation, confident. Number 26, tickets and concert. Tickets and concert will be your homework. I actually really like this one. So even if I'm saying it's for homework, if you quickly do it now, I will accept that as well. But number 25, nervous, presentation, confident. Nervous, presentation, confident. Use all of this to make a sentence using even though, which is going to contrast two ideas. All right, so nervous, presentation, confident. Before that, Fighting Boys, even though it's been raining, even though it's been raining all day, the organizer did a great job and conducted the wedding outdoors. Conducted the wedding outdoors. Yeah, that's a great sentence. All right, so you're contrasting. It's raining, but you still have the wedding outdoors. All right, now we've got number 25, which is nervous, presentation, confident, and we have to use even though. All right, so maybe I would make a sentence here. Even though I get really nervous during presentations, I was able to confidently give it this time. Even though I get really nervous during presentations, I was able to confidently get through it this time. I was able to confidently speak this time. Many things you can see here. I just said give it. I could say speak, it, perform. That would work. I was able to confidently perform this time. All right, so we've got a lot of different words here. You got nervous, you've got confident. Those contrast each other. And you got presentation, which is the main idea. So I get really nervous during presentations, but even though that happened, I was able to do well, and I confidently gave the speech. Okay. Remember, when you give a presentation, when you're talking about presentation or speech, please remember we're always going to be giving a presentation. Okay, you give a presentation, you're going to give a speech. All right, so it's always those two. Remember that, please. Okay, you don't say a presentation, you don't tell a speech. Give a presentation, you're going to give a speech. All right, so fighter bonus. Even though I was nervous and my head was in the clouds, I took advice, I took advice from my coworker, and with the confidence I had, I gave my presentation very well. Perfect. You already corrected before I even finished it. Excellent. So advice is uncountable. Anybody wondering why Fighter corrected that? Advice is uncountable, right? So if anything is uncountable, we can never put ah. Ah means right. So I'm drinking water in this cup. Well, it's finished now, but I was drinking water. Water, can't count it. If I pour the water in my hand to say 1, 2, 3, you can't. So it's uncountable, right? So I can't say water. So any uncountable, please do not use or an. Great sentence. Okay, so we're looking at though. It's a great phrase. You know, we often need to contrast ideas. It's a plus minus kind of idea. I want to introduce something that's very surprising. We use even though. Okay, so this is a great way to kind of like build up your fluency, build up your speed. You know, you're going to sound more like a native speaker if you use even though. There's other phrases like even if as well, which are really useful, different meaning. But even though is contrasting two ideas. Number 26, and I believe like we have number 26 is for homework. I want to do number 28 together. So I'll go back to 26 after. Let's look at number 28. Let's do this one together. I watched the movie Twister a couple of weeks ago, so I've got this in my head. We've got tornado warning and we've got a drive. Tornado warning and a drive. Has anybody else? I watched it a couple of weeks ago. It's a remake of a movie. There was a movie called Twister. I don't know when it was, like many years ago. This is a remake. I liked it. That was a fun show. It's very exciting. It's very sort of on the edge of your seats, kind of like really suspenseful at times. All right, so here we've got tornado warning, and we've got so you haven't seen it yet, Fibers. Okay, yeah, it's intense. It's intense. It's like I really like. I like movies like that. You know, it's intense, but it's not action and killing. It's not like murder mystery. It's not horror. It's glory and crazy people who try to chase these storms. It's amazing. Tornado warning, drive. My sentence, you could have a difference. My sentence for this would be, even though there was a tornado warning in my town, I went in search of it. Even though there was a tornado warning in my town, I went in search of it. That means I went to go and look and try to find it. All right, so that was number 28. This is just, it was inspired because of the recent movie I watched. Number 26 is for homework. So I'm going to scroll up again. Number 26 says tickets and concert. Tickets and concert. I want you to use those two ideas to contrast each other. Make a sentence. Use even though, include even though can be at the beginning of or in the middle. You don't have to use the word tickets. You don't have to say concert. This is just the idea. If you want to use the words, you can. Okay, make a sentence, contrast two things using even though. And of course, if anybody has any questions about even though or about any other English topic, please ask now, or you can ask later in the comment section. All right, you got Fibers, you got an answer here. Even though okay, so even though I went for a drive, even though I went, not go for a drive, even though I went for a drive, spotted the devil dust-like tornado, and then equals to craziness, I would not use. I think the devil dust-like tornado is enough. I didn't see the alert regarding that. Yeah, sometimes you don't get alerted. I've actually seen, I've seen a tornado. I've seen a tornado once. I've experienced being in near tornadoes twice, but one time I actually saw it. It's when I was in elementary school. I saw a tornado just ripping through a farm. And the second time in Dallas, Texas. But I was safe in my hotel. And yes, it's devil dust. Oh, yeah. And sometimes if you're driving, you're not going to get the alert. So yeah, you didn't see the alert. Perfect, Fibers. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so for the rest of you guys, you got homework there, tickets and concert. Make a sentence. Anybody watching on the replay, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Everybody watching right now, hit that like button as well. It means a lot, helps the channel a lot as well. And if there are no other questions, then the next live lesson I will do will be Saturday morning. Saturday morning. So just for Saturday morning, just check out my the YouTube community site. I'll put up a notice there. But yeah, generally Saturday morning, I start the lesson about 8:30 a.m. Japan Standard Time. So I know for some people who are watching right now, it might be 2 time difference. During the weekday, I do it in the evenings, like at this time. So usually Mondays and Thursdays. All right, guys. Great job, everyone. It's even though it's really useful. Oh, Fighter you've already done your homework. Nice. Even though the concert was full of people like packed in sardines. Okay, we're almost there with that sentence. I can push through the crowd and shake hands with the singer. Okay, so even though the concert was what I would say here was packed, even though we here, not concert, I would say that if you're going to do packed with sardines or packed like sardines, use that at the beginning of the sentence. So even though we are packed like sardines. So even though we were packed like sardines in the concert, I could push through the crowd and shake hands with the singer. Even though we were packed like sardines in the concert, I could, or I was able to push through the crowd and shake hands with the singer, with shake hands and then the singer. Good sentence. I like it. I like it. Good job, Iris. I haven't been to ever. Okay, so like anybody else who wants to try or challenge that homework, please do so. Leave it in the comment section here or after the lesson is done. You can leave it in there. I will check it. I'll correct it for you, and then you can see it for yourself. Vitamin, very welcome. Thank you very much as always. Always super supportive of me and this channel. I really appreciate that. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Even though, remember, if you want a copy of this lesson, just let me know. I'll send you a PDF. But otherwise, thank you all for joining. You guys did amazing. I hope to see you guys all on Saturday or next week during the next live lesson. All right, guys, thank you very much and see you guys all next time. See ya.